Hello and welcome back to the Purely Platonic podcast.
I'm having a little rave
Woo,
over here.
a little rave. This is episode number 3.
Episode 3.
We're just going to have a chat. We've not seen each other in a really long time. We're going to catch up, have a natter, maybe play a couple of mini games like we did in episode 1 if we fancy.
Yeah, I don't know what those will be, but that's your territory.
I am the mini game master.
Mini game gal. Yeah. How's your week been?
My week has been good. I've been in Birmingham most of the week, won't lie. My boyfriend lives in Birmingham, by the way, for people who don't know. That's why I spend a lot of time there. And I went to uni there. Went to drama school. We went to go and see a show, which my friend, who also went to drama school, was in my year, had written and directed.
You have talented friends. Yeah. It's insane.
It was...
Was he in it as well?
Yeah, in it as well. It was incredible, and it got a 5-star review from the reviewer. The reviewer was sat in front of me and my boyfriend at the show, and we were like, and I was making sure I laughed really loud down the reviewer's ear to make sure.
This is great theatre.
This is marvellous. I'm really enjoying this.
This is 5-star quality theatre, right? Just making it really obvious from the get-go. Oh boy, am I having a good time.
There was, however, a moment in it where someone dropped confetti, and the way that the theatre worked, I don't know if you ever actually came to see anything when I was in that theatre, but there's stairs that run down that you can walk down as the actor, and someone walked down the stairs and threw confetti, and it was a Halloween party in the show, so it was orange confetti, went all over me because I was sat in the aisle, but so was the reviewer. It went all over him, and he had a piece of confetti on the back of his head for the rest of the show, and it's all I could think about. Every time I caught it, I was just like...
Was he bald or something? Or how did it stay there?
No, he had hair, but it was just sat on...
Oh, I was imagining sweat glued.
Oh,
no.
I
don't know why I imagined that, but
no. It was just resting on his hair.
It's still there now. He's listening to this right now. He's just checked the back of his head, going, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
I don't know why he's listening to this. If you are, 5-star review for us would be great as well.
Amazing. Thank you. He's reviewed quite a few things like Tread the Boards have done, which is another theatre company that I work with.
Shout out to Tread the Boards.
Shout out to Tread the Boards.
Shout out to Welsh John as well.
Go Welsh John. Woo!
Yeah. What's his actual name?
Jonathan Holston.
Jonathan Holston.
Yeah. And it was Physical Education was the name of the show. It was about toxic masculinity and locker room banter. It was set in a school.
Interesting.
It was, but it was incredible.
That is a good topic.
You would have loved it. It's right up your street.
Yeah,
as a play, it's right up your street. Hopefully they bring it back. They only did it for two nights. Because it was the first ever time he'd done it, but I'm pretty sure it sold really well, and the response has been amazing, rightfully so, because it was brilliant.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed that. That actually sounds really good.
Yeah.
I bloody love the theatre. Can we just have a moment?
Me
too. I mean, obviously you love
too.
the theatre. That goes without saying, but I love the theatre. It's
great, isn't
It's
it?
fantastic. I need
so
to go and
good.
see something.
Come and see my pantomime.
When and where is that on?
It's Jack and the Beanstalk at the Cider Mill Theatre, running from the 22nd of December to the 7th of January.
I'm busy all of those days.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
the funny thing is, this is probably going to go out after it's done.
Probably,
so,
I think.
Or midway
possibly.
through.
I'm not sure.
It depends.
This could end up being our Christmas special.
Christmas
No, we'll have to do
special.
an actual proper
Yeah,
Christmas
we will do a
special.
proper
Yeah.
Christmas special.
And then immediately after, we'll have to do a special one for my birthday.
Happy birthday. No,
Not yet.
Too early.
Happy birthday, Jesus first.
Oh,
The more important person. And then Kevin. I'm not saying of all people.
Jesus, Kevin.
Number 1, Jesus. Number 2, Kevin. No, that would be. I'm at least 4th in that list of everyone.
Why do you always do this when I take a drink?
I know. So yeah, we've got
Every
tea.
time.
I'm sorry for making you spit out your tea. Anyway, what have I been doing?
I don't know. What have you been doing?
Well, I went on holiday.
Was it nice?
It
looked really pretty from the photos.
It was nice, but it didn't get off to the best of starts.
Oh no, why not?
So we had a little bit of a disaster right at the start of our holiday.
What happened?
Well, this was before we'd gone on holiday. So our flight was at, I'll never forget the time that it was. It was at 6:10. That was our flight.
Okay.
We got up, 2 a.m. Gotta be early. We're at the airport for like 3, I'd say.
Yeah.
We are so early, just in case, you never know, security, whatever, passport control. We flew through all of that, basically didn't stop. There was no one there, but you just don't know. So we ended up being super early for this flight. And there's a Pret in the airport. Now, if you know me, if you know my partner, we love Pret.
Yeah, they do.
Bloomin'
Every
love
single
Pret.
time I go to Manchester to see them, we go to Pret.
Oh, yes.
Every
yes.
time.
But I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't drink
No,
coffee.
'cause he's
So
weird.
I just like the Pret food and the Pret experience.
The Pret vibe.
The whole Pret vibe. But I'm not a coffee
We're not
drinker.
sponsored.
No, we're not
Just
sponsored.
saying. If we were, that would be great.
If Pret are listening and want to sponsor a podcast that has only just started and we're only on episode 4 or 3 or whatever it is,
But we love Pret.
yeah,
So.
then feel free to sponsor us. But yeah, so we went to Pret in the airport.
Yeah.
We sit down and we're just chilling. We're just vibing.
Okay.
Now my partner's a teacher, so they get on with marking some work that
Yeah.
they've brought just to pass the time. I am not a teacher, so I'm just sort of fucking about, really.
I was going to say, I'm not a teacher. I also do some marking.
yeah. No, I just put a podcast on or something.
Yeah,
or I've got
yeah.
a pack of cards and I'm just shuffling and messing around, whatever. I have. This is irrelevant to the story, but I feel the need to mention it. I have porridge. I have orange
Nice.
juice. I've got some little granola thing. I've got some little chocolate croissant.
A
I've got
veritable
the full
feast.
Pret works.
I love a Pret chocolate croissant.
So
they
good,
hit
aren't they?
so good. Pret is like our rehearsal coffee shop. So
Right.
every single morning,
What do you mean?
coffee,
by
as
that?
in like, it was the one that was closest to our rehearsal
Oh,
room.
right. I
Literally,
thought you meant
we rehearse in a Pret.
Yeah, I was like, what? You don't know if you want a coffee, so you just want to like practice getting a coffee. You go to a rehearsal Pret. I see.
Yeah. So it was like every morning, coffee, croissant.
It's a vibe.
Breakfast of kings.
So I think that this is to blame. I think that Pret, the vibe of Pret, is what led to this disaster because we were enjoying it so much that we spent too much time there. So we are there again, like I say, 3 a.m. Pret, good vibes. It gets to 4 a.m., still good vibes. It gets to 5 a.m., still vibing. At about 5:30, we think, should we just check the board, like see where what our flight's doing? And it says boarding. And
What time is your flight? Just go back.
6:10.
Okay.
So it says
Yeah.
boarding at about 5:30, which
Yeah.
I now realise is very usual.
Yeah, normal.
And we think that's fine. We got plenty of time. We've got lots and lots of time. So we go to the toilet. We fill up our water bottle. We're just getting ready. We're taking our time. This is at a very leisurely pace. Then we check the board, and it says final call. And actually, I've got my details slightly wrong here because we went to the toilet after we saw it said final call. So,
What?
yeah, we
Why?
went. It said final call, and for some reason, we just forgot how to fly. I've not flown all that many times.
No.
I flew for the first time when I was 18.
Yeah.
So I've only been on like 5, 6 flights. Well, it'll be an even number because I came back, but it'll be 6 then. I just thought about that for a second. So I've not been on as many flights, but
Yeah.
my partner has. They should know better. And we go to the toilet, we fill our water bottle up, then we go back to the screen and it says gate closed. And so we sprint through the airport, and I mean sprint. We absolutely peg it to our gate. And
Did they not
the
like
door-
tannoy you? Normally they're like,
well, no, the announcement came over and it
Mr.
said
Booth, please come to
final call,
do-do-do.
but I mean it's just an EasyJet flight. They don't care if you miss it. Like they're just gonna take off at the time. They're not gonna bother calling your name
yeah, I
out.
guess so.
So we run. The gate is closed when we get there. The doors are fully shut. Everyone's gone. We run I literally run up to the person next to the doors, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, please, can we get on this flight? Please, like, we need to get on this flight. And they go, okay, yes, I'll quickly scan your boarding passes. We start to run down the little corridor to the plane, and they're like, no, come back. We need to check your passports. Like, you can't just run on the plane. It's like, okay, fair enough. So we have to go back. They have to, like, scan our passports, make sure we're the right people. Then we sprint down this corridor to the plane. We get to the end. Another set of doors are locked.
No.
And we are I'm literally shaking the door. By the way, as we've been running down this corridor, my bag has been open because I've only just put the passports back. So my toothpaste and everything, like, I'm leaving a trail, and my girlfriend's picking up after me on the way. So it's just like utter chaos. Someone has to come off the plane to unlock these doors. And
then you do the walk of shame.
The walk of shame. We run up the ladder into the ladder? The stairs. Yeah, the plane's in the air at this point. They've dropped a rope ladder. We're climbing up. Like the end of the Doctor Who episode of Cybermen one, we're climbing the ladder. And one of the ropes snaps.
Oh no! The toothpaste falls.
Yeah. The airport blows up underneath us for some reason. No, so we get on the plane.
Jesus.
The door is closed immediately after us. They've already done the security. Here are the exits. They've done all that. Seatbelt sign is on.
God.
Everyone is looking at us going, you morons. And yes, we were morons, to put it lightly. We take our seats and the plane takes off. So we go on holiday. But my God.
I feel stressed listening to that story.
If we were 10 seconds later, that we wouldn't have gone on holiday. It was as simple as that. We were as late as we physically could have been because the gate was closed. Everyone was gone. Like, the plane was closed. They had to open the plane again. They made, fair play to EasyJet. Thank you very much. But it was our fault. I'm not asking for sympathy. Or we were idiots. We forgot
how
that
you
to
saw
fly.
Last Call and then thought, time for a wee.
Yeah. We were just like, I just need the toilet, so I would just go to the toilet. And then, my girlfriend was like filling her water bottle up, and I was just suddenly thinking to myself, I don't think you've got time to fill this to the top. And so she didn't. But if she had, we might have I don't know, we might have missed it. Probably would have done.
That is...
So yeah, a lesson learnt. Don't be like us.
No, don't do that. So was the rest of the holiday nice?
Yeah, we got on the plane and burst into tears. I was going to say. No, we got on the plane and burst into laughter.
Oh, okay,
because it was like a
Yeah,
relief,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the tension,
the adrenaline.
Yeah,
like.
oh my God, my heart was going so much. Also, a really funny thing, my girlfriend turned to me and she was like, once the plane was in the air, she was like, how did you know where to sit, by the way? Like, did you check the seat numbers or something? I literally just went, they were the only 2 empty seats. Like, I didn't know what seat. I just went down the plane until I saw 2 empty seats because they were where we were meant to be sitting. The plane was full, like.
Oh my God.
So yeah, anyway, we get to it was Barcelona we flew to.
Yeah.
But we actually stayed in a little place called Tarragona, which you won't have heard of because it's not very well known to tourists. It wasn't very touristy at all. It was 100% locals. We never heard an English voice or anything. It was just like a very local place.
Oh, okay.
But lovely. Highly recommend. Lovely beach.
Yeah,
fantastic. Actually, someone you mentioned just before we started recording.
Yes. Yeah.
Went there very recently. I saw on their Instagram story.
Oh,
So evidently it is,
lovely.
although I think they might be there for their job because they travel the world as their job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
evidently
still,
tourists
yeah.
do go, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that's the place I've just been. So yeah, no, lovely, fantastic. Part of the holiday kind of calls back to something you spoke about in the last one. It was a theme park. I won't go over it too much because this is we're not turning into a theme park review podcast.
Chessington was a lot.
Yeah, well, Chessington was a lot.
Honey, I've been to Alton Towers since the last podcast, so I
We'll
could
have to
go
compare,
on.
We'll have to compare. But you sent me some videos that I edited into the last episode of, the one where you're sat around a pole and it goes up and down. There's one of those at, well, the theme park was called Portaventura, which is quite well known, which is actually near Tarragona, but Portaventura is like the only reason you'd stay in Tarragona, really, because it's like quite near. There's one of those droppy things called, feel free to Google this, people, Hurricane Condor.
Okay.
You can get up an image of a Hurricane Condor, but I will just tell you that it's 100 meters tall. So in comparison, I'll put both videos side by side. When you were like in the queue, really scared of going on that.
Yeah, tiny little thing.
This was, I don't know how many times bigger, but it was
huge,
absolutely terrifying. It was...
Like when you're at the top of that.
Yeah. So it doesn't... And what it doesn't blast you up quickly.
Slow.
It takes you up quickly. No, it takes you up slowly, sorry.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
just drops you at, like, gravity speed. So you are literally just in free fall for what feels like way too long. I have never screamed so loud. I'm not a screamer, but I've never screamed so loud. And also, you're not sat on anything. That was what was scary.
You're not
You're not sat on a seat, like with your knees at a right angle or anything
Yeah.
like that. You've got something like in your crotch and it like straps over your shoulders
Yeah.
and you're just stood like dangling. Your legs are just fully dangling.
Oh, I see.
And
Yeah,
so
I can see.
the safety element, it feels like something that, I don't know, it feels like something you could easily just fall off. But absolutely terrifying. That was...
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly fun. But yeah, I
Wow.
just thought
That's
I'd
so
say that
funny.
because I went on that, queued for ages. It was just terrifying.
Oh no!
It was just awful. The worst bit was like going up, and just being like, oh my God. And also most of it, you're sort of, or about a quarter of it, sorry, not most.
Yeah.
You're sort of in a thing, you're in like a tube, and then it like comes out of the top and it reveals how high up you are, and it's like, oh my God, we've still got so much more to go. That's only like 25 meters, and it's like, oh my God. So yeah, Hurricane Condor, highly recommend if you want to shit yourself. if you've got a bad case of constipation, then
It'll
that
really
is
help the
that is
flow.
a remedy to really get things moving down there. Because
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
Portaventura World, great
Wow.
stuff.
Yeah, you see, when I went to Chessington, I explained last time. No, stop laughing at me. Leave me be.
I'm sorry.
When
It's
I-
just how many episodes in a row is Chessington going to get a mention? Let's see if we can slip it into every episode. Sorry, go on.
Anyway, I had not been to a theme park in a really long time when I went, because I'm not a theme park person, or at least I wasn't. And then we went to Alton Towers for Scarefest. That was what we did. Oh gosh, a couple of weeks ago now. But we went as the Addams family.
Right.
We all dressed up. And so we did like the rides and stuff in the day, because we went in the day. And then at nighttime, we did all of like the scare mazes and stuff, which were amazing.
Yeah.
I am quite jumpy when it comes to that kind of thing. I don't like anticipation. So I can watch like thousands of horror films and they don't bother me at all. Like I don't get nightmares, I don't get scared of that kind of thing. I love it. Absolutely love it. But put me in a room and tell me that at some point someone is going to jump out at me, I will be a nervous wreck. I'll be like, oh my goodness. So they made me go first. I was with my boyfriend and his friends. They made me go first every single time in these horror mazes, and they just laughed at me. I was the comedy relief. The first one we did was Daz Games Panic. It was a new one. You know Daz Games? Yeah, he did a horror maze. Yeah, at Alton Towers. It was brilliant. It was so good.
Daz Games has got a thing.
Yeah. It was
He's
brill.
gone up in the world.
Honestly,
My God.
he's doing so well. And like, it was absolutely fabulous. It was all based around AI and like that kind of thing. And it was fab. We were all in this like holding room watching this video of Daz kind of explaining what we had to do and da-da-da. It wasn't like a normal horror maze. It was more free, and it was like a puzzle that you had to solve to a certain extent.
Like escape room sort of thing.
Yes, like an escape room. But it was this big room and everyone was in there, but you were on your own mission kind of thing. It was like you had to solve your own puzzles. I don't want to like give too much away just in case it goes back next year or whatever, but like, you had to scan symbols and stuff. Anyway, so we're in this holding cell. The video ends and this scare actor pops his head through the like kind of sheets that's stopping the room. And he's dressed like the devil. He looked incredible. Like, the makeup is amazing. And he literally scans the whole room, right? Sees me, grabs me by, honestly, grabs me by the shoulders and pulls me into this maze on my own. No. I'm the first one in there. And it's huge, massive room full of smoke, full of like
Oh my God.
scare actors. There's loads of them. And I was like, and it was the first one we did.
No. Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God.
Are they allowed to touch you? That's
Yes.
the question I have.
Yes.
He grabbed you.
Yes. They are allowed to touch you.
Do you have to sign anything?
No, but when you go into all of them, they
have
say
to, they tell you
the
like,
actors
yeah.
will touch you. Please don't touch them, kind of thing. To say they are going to come out and grab you.
Right.
Please don't punch them in the face.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Well, yeah. I
There was
get
one
that.
point where I was in one of the scare mazes. It was a normal scare maze, so you kind of walk single file. It kind of tells the story as you go along to a certain extent, but there are actors everywhere. It's like a free-for-all. They can jump out, they can chase you, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm in front, okay? My boyfriend is behind me. I'm terrified. So I have my hand out, holding his hand behind me, and we're walking along and whatever. We lose hands for like 3 seconds. And then we hold on again. And I take a few more steps forward. And I stop dead still.
Coming.
And I just go out loud. I just go, that's not you. Turn around. And one of the scare actors was holding my hand. I later spoke to my boyfriend. And apparently the scare actor had booed him, made him jump, which made him let go of my hand. So, then the scare actor saw it. And like, apparently had like a moment with my boyfriend where it was like, should I? Yeah. Grabbed hold of it, and he was just absolutely pissing himself.
That's brilliant. That's incredible. I love that. Have you seen the video of like it's from one of those things, from like a haunted house scare thing? Where
where he grabs
it's like a couple, yeah, and he grabs the scare actor and runs through. Yeah,
it was like that.
It's literally that. Oh
yeah.
my God, I love that.
It was ridiculous. And because we were dressed as the Addams Family, we filmed a TikTok, which I've
seen. It's very good. Yeah, it's on screen.
Of us doing the Addams Family click. And my boyfriend's friend was dressed as Fester. Brilliantly. His costume was phenomenal.
Is that the bald one?
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely brilliant costume. But it meant that every time we were in the scare maze, particularly in Daz's one, people thought he was a scare actor.
Oh,
so he
right.
would people would be walking around, see him and go, ah! And he would just play up to it. He'd just make people jump. He made me jump. There was one where he was in front of me with his wife and they disappeared. And I was walking along or whatever, and he'd like hidden behind one of the walls and jumped out and made me jump. And I was like,
you can't even trust your friends.
Stop?
You can't even trust the people you're with.
Like, oh my God.
That's great.
Yeah, but
That
it was
is great.
absolutely fab, and I loved it. And yeah, I think it's slowly turning me into a roller coaster person.
Yes.
Slowly.
Good. Well,
right,
you need to go to Portaventura.
I will. Yeah. Can we please stop talking about bloody theme parks now and move on?
We will. Are you a fan of
on.
Halloween in general? We've just passed Halloween as we're recording.
Love it.
See,
love it.
I think I used to be when I was a kid, and I don't know. It's lost the magic for me. I don't understand it now as an adult, really, and it's become a much bigger thing in recent years, where much like it was in America, I think, already, where it's not just a single day.
Yeah.
It's like
The
spooky
month.
season,
Yeah.
you know, where it lasts a whole month. I was seeing pumpkins right at the start of October going, what? Like, it's in a month. Like,
Yeah.
it's not Christmas.
Yeah.
Calm down. You know, I didn't understand it at all, and I didn't do anything for Halloween. We had a little Baba pumpkin, one of those little munchkin pumpkins.
Aw.
That was the extent of it. We had one little thing on a shelf, and that was just because it looked cute. You know, I just wanted it. But yeah, I don't know. I've never got into it recently.
I think I had the same thing as you before I went to uni.
It's a big uni thing, isn't it?
I fell back in love with Halloween at uni because it would be like we would have, say, 2 parties that were associated with Halloween. That's 2 costumes. You know, when I lived in a house with a group of people. There were 4
Did I
of us.
mention I actually lived in Birmingham? Did I ever mention that?
Did I ever mention I live in Manchester? Oh.
Okay, fair.
There you
Equals.
go. Come on.
Equals people.
Come on.
Sorry, carry on.
You can play at this game. But there were 4 of us. So for Halloween, and for every costume party, in fairness, we would do a group costume. And it was brill. You know, we
Drama
went as,
students especially, I imagine you were very good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
We
seen
went
some of them over the year.
out.
Yeah.
Full out. We did the Scooby-Doo gang.
I did that first year of uni.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess who I was.
Shaggy.
Yes.
I was as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we're both a
Yeah,
pair of
we're both
shaggies.
shaggies.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then me and my friend did Joker and Harley Quinn, and that kind of thing. And it was so much fun. I love a costume party. I honestly love it.
Did you drag me into one year? The cops and robbers thing, was
Yeah.
that Halloween or was that just random?
That was just a cops and robbers
That
party.
was just a cops and robbers, but that says a lot about drama school,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
there's just random costume parties, not in Halloween season.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was minimal effort because I didn't know
you
anyone.
were.
I just had cop hat.
Yeah.
That was it.
I was
I
kind
just
of-
had the hat, which
Yeah.
there was nothing else to it.
I was aiming for like Chloe Decker from Lucifer.
That's gone over my head. I'm
It's
afraid.
good. That's what I aim for, which, plainclothes police officer rather
Right,
than uniform.
Right, but surely I could have just gone in my normal clothes and gone, I'm actually an undercover cop, so...
You could have done. You fully could have done. Yeah. Some people went in like suit and tie and were like, oh yeah, I'm a cop, but from like 1930.
Great, love
I'm a
that.
detective. Wow.
Yeah, I could have just gone as Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Cops and robbers, that works,
There
right?
you go.
Do you miss all those sort of like uni parties? Do you
Oh,
miss
I miss
that?
them
Yeah.
loads, yeah. Mainly because of dressing up. I just used to love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, there's a good like, I think especially at your uni, and less so with my uni, because I'm not sure if it's just like a drama school thing, or you seem to know everyone on your course or in your year.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas my year at uni started off as 200
That is
people.
mental to me.
And so, obviously, I didn't know everyone's name. We had like
Yeah.
this end of third year, so literally the final time we
Yeah.
saw everyone. It was like a awards ceremony, because it's like a
Okay.
film course, so we did a sort of like, award ceremony for
Yeah,
various
yeah,
people's
yeah.
films. Didn't even get nominated, by the way.
Which is not fair, because I've seen his film and it was great.
Didn't even get nominated.
Ridiculous.
Moment of silence. Anyway, we saw everyone at that thing, and I didn't know half of them. I not
Yeah.
even recognise their face. They were walking in, I was like, you're in our year? Like, what? Who are you? I don't know any of these people. I was sat on a table of, like the 10 people I knew. I was looking around the room thinking, is this my uni year? What's going on? It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Just no connection at all to
Yeah.
so many people. Whereas you, I went to some of your parties with uni friends, and you'd be talking to loads of people.
Oh,
And I was
God,
like,
yeah. I would know
whoa,
every single person at those parties.
that is wild
Yeah.
to me. That is so wild.
But we had... So at drama school, typically, your year group is like 30 and under. We had a
Wow.
really, because of COVID, we were way bigger than that. We had 41, I think.
Why? Because of
something
COVID,
like
was
that.
it bigger?
Because the government made them take an extra cohort. They made them take more people.
Ah,
I
so
would
that
assume
explains
for
why you got in then.
monetary. No, it genuinely does.
No, I'm joking.
No,
I'm
no,
joking.
genuinely does.
No, it's
No,
not-
100%.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I will hold my hands up. I was on
No,
the reserve list.
No, you would have got in.
No, I was on the reserve list.
No, you would have got in.
No,
You're
no,
being,
I
you're
promise
being
you.
modest.
Promise you.
Really?
Yeah, I was on the reserve list from, I don't know, July. And then it was Boris at the time put in this legislation, I think the beginning of September or like the end of August. I got my place at drama school 2 weeks before the course began.
Whoa.
That was
Really?
it. I was convinced I was not going to drama school. I'd
Damn.
got all of my plan B ready. I knew what I was going to do in my year out. I'd bought a new car because I knew that I would be driving loads, all of this kind of stuff.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, by the way, you've got in. Come on. And I was like,
I do remember around that time, you sort of like waiting to be told, and the wait seemed to go on and on, which is, I think, very typical of drama schools anyway, that they keep you
gosh.
waiting, or just typical of the
Massively.
acting industry, I guess, where
Yeah.
they keep you waiting and waiting and waiting,
Oh,
and then tell you,
massively.
oh, you've got it.
Yeah.
So that's
But there
kinda
was
annoying.
a massive group of us. I did the foundation course before I did the BA course. And I think there were 7 of us who were on the waiting list and then got in that last 2-3 week period.
Yeah. How do you sort of think of drama school when you look back on it now? In general, I know it's a very vague
Oh,
question.
I loved it. I mean, first year was really difficult because of COVID.
Yep.
Second year was really difficult again because of COVID, because we didn't. Drama school is one of those places where as soon as you are in, you are getting comfortable with one another. You are a company, so it's like we normally would do so many workshops and activities around trust and around physical touch, and like that's why the stereotype of all drama kids are always all over each other. Yeah, we are, because we have to be.
You're
Like
made
you
to be.
have to
Yeah.
be so comfortable that yes, you can have 3 of your friends lying on top of you for half an hour or whatever. It doesn't faze you, because that's what you have to do. I know that sounds really silly, but like that's what we would do. I remember my foundation, the first day, one of the exercises that we did was we got all of us lay on the floor. We got someone lay on top of them, and then they had to roll over us. That was one of our exercises.
And then you went to university.
Yeah, and then we went to uni. Yeah, but that was it. And we had
Wow.
to take it in turns, and everyone had to do it. We did it, so it was like boys and girls. So it was like the boys lay on the floor, and one of the boys rolled over them. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like
yeah.
mixed at that point. But
That's interesting. Can I ask a very naive question?
yeah,
Why?
because it was the first day, and I imagine it probably would have maybe made some people feel uncomfortable. I don't know. It would not have bothered me in the slightest.
So, what? The idea was to make some people uncomfortable?
Sorry, I thought you meant why it was split, why it wasn't mixed.
No. Why do it in the first place? Sorry.
Because you need to be comfortable
Just
being in
break
that close
the,
proximity.
Like,
Yeah.
normal barriers.
Yeah.
Just so, yeah. I guess from an outside perspective, it's like drama school is trying to make you into someone who's willing to do anything. I know that sounds strange, but it's like
Yeah, to a
if you
certain
can
extent.
do anything, then you can play any character kind of thing.
100%. So it's all about that. So for the foundation people, we'd already had that, obviously, with a different cohort, so
Yeah.
not with the people we were working with, but we had that kind of base of knowing what was required from a trust and a connection point of view. But we didn't get any of that because of COVID. We weren't allowed to touch each other. We had to be 6 feet apart. We had to wear masks, all of this kind of stuff. And then we weren't even allowed to be in the studio. So we were online. And, I know a lot of uni courses did that. All uni courses did that. We were very fortunate that because we were a physical media, subject, we were allowed back in when some uni courses weren't allowed back
Well, you
in.
had to be to do it.
Yeah, but how do you act over a computer?
Well, exactly. You had to do that, didn't you? You had to do like a whole thing,
Yep.
a whole play,
whole play over
it,
a computer. Yeah. So I think
My
then
God.
second year was us kind of recovering from that to a certain extent, building up that trust that ordinarily we would have had in first year. By the end of second year, we definitely had got there, and then third year was absolutely brilliant. Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. But third year is going into an industry like format. You go straight from show to show to show to show. We did 3, I think, with like kind of workshops and stuff in between. But rather than having day-to-day classes, you're doing 4 weeks of rehearsals, a week of shows, have a week off,
Bloody
4 weeks
hell.
of rehearsals, a week of shows. And when I say have a week off, that's when you do your workshops. So there is no week off. You are in every single day. And that's the difference between drama school and a normal uni course. Is I was in uni 5 days a week, sometimes 6, from 8:30 to sometimes 10 p.m.
Oh,
like
God,
it
I can
was
imagine, yeah.
It was massive.
That will really surprise some people. The reason I'm out, it's almost turned into an interview. I'm asking you about
Yeah,
drama school.
sorry.
But no, the reason I am is because not only do I find it really interesting,
Yeah.
but I think other people will find it really interesting because drama school is sort of like, the wizarding world. We're
Yeah.
muggles. And so it's something that so many people don't know about. I'm
Yeah.
constantly learning new things about
Yeah.
what drama school is like because, it's so much time, it's so much effort and energy. And yet most people don't actually know what it's about.
No.
I think a lot of people have some ideas of what it's about.
Yeah.
Of, and forgive me, but I'm repeating the opinion of other people where they think that it's just like airy fairy nonsense
Oh, yeah.
and like prancing around a dance floor.
Yeah,
You know,
there's such with acting as a whole, there is such a stigma and such a misunderstanding. Like, so at the time of recording in America, the SAG-AFTRA strike has just finished. So all actors who are members of SAG-AFTRA have been on strike because of so many different things. Mainly AI and using likenesses without permission and streaming cost and like being paid for streaming. Because basically what was happening was that if you film something, say, for the telly or as a film, you would then be paid royalties to a certain extent for however many people went to see that film or however many people watched that show.
Yeah.
With Netflix, for example, you would make the show, get paid a lump sum, and then no matter how many people streamed it, you would not get paid any extra. So I think it first came into light properly, I think, during Sex Education, where one of the actors said, yeah, it doesn't really matter that we're the most viewed show on Netflix because I'm not getting paid anymore and I can't pay my bills. And that's the thing. There was a woman on the news literally 2 days ago saying, you know, people have been here striking for over 100 days and some of them, the only meal that they've been having is the meal that they get on the picket lines. And I was watching this interview and it ended and I just turned to my mum afterwards and went, there are so many people who will be sat at home thinking, that's bullshit. But it's so true.
Oh, yeah.
You know I'm only I've just graduated. I'm not a movie star or anything like that.
Yet.
I'm a worker yet manifesting.
No, I mean it. Seriously.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm a working actor. And there are so many of us. I have not had an acting job for 4 months. My last acting job ended 4 months ago, which is
crazy.
A normal break.
No,
that's small.
That is crazy.
That's a small break. Like, I'm getting really itchy because I'm not used to it because I've been in drama school. A 12-month break is normal.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we have to have muggle jobs, which is, you know how you were saying.
Yeah, well,
that's what we call them. That's what we call them.
I use that word knowing that is a phrase. Like
yeah, we call it muggle jobs,
job,
you know.
Yeah.
And if you can get a muggle job that's remotely creative, like what I'm doing, I teach singing. It's still being creative. It's not acting.
And you're also the host of Purely Platonic podcast.
I am also co-host.
How much money has this earned?
£1,000.
Let's all go there. So anyway, listen to us on
join our
Spotify,
Patreon?
subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Please.
We might start a Patreon, actually.
I think so.
Bonus content, yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Doesn't have to be expensive, does it? Like $1 a month or whatever.
We'll have to split it though, so it'll be like
oh shit! Yeah, maybe $2.
$2. We get one each.
But yeah, so it's a lot, and people don't understand it, and people assume a lot of things about it. But we love it, and that's why we keep doing it.
And it's not just actors; it's writers.
Oh my goodness!
And
God!
crew, and, you know, it
every
affects
creative industry. 100%. Oh my God! It's not just actors, and that's the other thing. Is the whole other flip side of it is, you know, when you watch a show, when you watch a film, the actors are the ones that get all of the credit because they're the ones you can see.
They're the ones you can see, exactly.
You know, everyone behind. There are so many people, you know, that go into making these things that you just have no idea about.
I want to be one of those people. That's what I'm trying to be, you know.
Yeah, but as a layman, you just have no idea. You just think, oh, you know, Benedict Cumberbatch was great. And it's like,
yeah,
but
he probably was.
Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch will have been great. It's Benedict Cumberbatch, but you know,
yeah.
But
yeah,
like
but
even to like down to like, you know, voice coaching. If there's an accent in a film, there will have been a voice coach, if not more than one.
Yeah.
You know, people just don't.
Intimacy coordinator. I feel like you'd be a good intimacy coordinator. I know it might be a weird thing to say, but I feel like that's something you're interested in.
I have been trained in intimacy coordination.
Really?
Yeah, I had a workshop with the lady who intimacy coordinates for sex education.
Wow, I bet
Who-
that's a job. Is
she-
there not a whole team of them? A whole
she
fleet
has
of them for that show?
She has literally taken the industry and gone, I don't think so. Shaken it up and gone, there you go. This is how you do it.
Oh, I imagine before that was a job
Oh
title, there were
my
so many issues.
Goodness, she has fixed literally
Doesn't
so
even-
many
oh,
things.
God, it doesn't even bear thinking about.
She's
yeah.
made this checklist that people have to confide by and all of this kind of stuff. Like, it's so much safer now to do intimacy coordination and all that kind of stuff after her. She honestly
I
pioneer.
heard a quote that was like, a sex scene can be more dangerous than like a fight scene. You know, like mentally, if you
Oh,
get it
God.
wrong and
God,
there's
yeah.
not like good communication and good like
Oh, massively.
consent, you know, it
Massively.
can be like really sort of
Massively.
damaging to
It's
actors.
why-
It's something when I watch things, I'm like, I don't know how actors do that. I don't know how
It's
actors
like
do
a
that.
dance. It's choreographed down
But it's so much.
to a T.
I don't know. It's so
To the point where,
personal, isn't it?
oh, 100%. But like, so when we did this workshop, the guy who I was working with, we were doing the kissing, you know, together. He won't mind me saying this. He's a lovely human being, absolutely brill human. I don't find him attractive in the slightest, and I probably imagine he doesn't find me attractive in the slightest. It's like, you know, one of those things of like, in real life, would never happen.
It's purely
It's
platonic.
purely
I've got to say it. I've
platonic.
got to say
It's
it.
purely platonic. But it became a dance. You know, at this point, I put my hand there. That then triggers you to do that. Then that then triggers you to do that. Then that happens. Then we do this. Then we move to there. As soon as you give me that signal, then we move to there. It's that.
Yeah.
It's like, it just takes all of the... It's like almost the opposite of acting. Acting needs to be like in the moment and fresh and a bit improvised and a bit like, ooh, you don't quite know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Intimacy is the complete opposite.
You need to know exactly
and
what's
the
going to
problems
happen. Yeah.
arise when you get typically more old-fashioned directors who want to put that, ooh, we don't know what's going to happen, into intimacy. But that's when, as an actor and as a pair, or you know, however many people are doing it, that's when your checklists and your check-ins and all of that kind of stuff come into practice. So I did a scene at drama school with, funny, John, the guy who wrote the play.
Welsh John.
John.
Second mention.
Lovely Welsh John. And we had a kiss in it. We had done all of the coordination. We knew exactly what we wanted from... I think we had 2 kisses in it. We knew what we wanted from each kiss. We'd had someone in the room as our intimacy coordinator as we were doing it. The day that we performed it to the class, we'd done our check-ins. You know, are you okay with everything that we've done? Whatever. So that when we were in the lesson and we were being worked on by our director, our director went, that kiss isn't quite doing it. I want it to be deeper or whatever. I can't even remember what he said, but he said he wanted it to be different. And so he was like, okay, do it again. So we did. And he was like, no, okay, do it again. And we did. And because we had done all of the work in the rehearsal room and all of the work before, like literally 10 minutes beforehand, we both knew that we were entirely comfortable to be able to add a little bit extra play to it, you know, to make it more believable, to make it more whatever.
But if you hadn't done that and you'd just gone in...
Then it would be really awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, not helped by the fact that his girlfriend was literally sat in the room watching us do it.
Yeah, this is what I want to
Do you know what I mean? But if we hadn't done the work, I would have felt very uncomfortable.
How do partners of actors, you know, especially sort of in the theatre where it's right there in front of you, it's not just a recording or whatever, you know. I suppose it's just the same if you're watching it on a screen. But,
yeah, I think it's...
You know, because they're not actors, right?
No.
You're talking about all of this like professional terminology and all like this training and communication, whatever.
Yeah.
For the partner who just doesn't see any of that, and they go to see the film or they watch the show or the production or whatever it is, and they see their partner kissing someone else or having sex with someone else, it's like, I don't know how you could do that. I don't know. Like as a non-actor, that must be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I think, as I say, as you say, if both partners are actors, then the
Then,
other
yeah.
person will obviously understand what's gone into
Yeah.
it. I think it's just a communication thing. I think it's, talking to your partner and saying, this is what's been asked of me. This is the process that we're going through. Da 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 da. And actually, if the partner turns around and says, I'm not comfortable with that, that's then something you need to address,
Yeah.
within the relationship. But I think as long as they know that actually it's the same as learning lines, it's the same as learning a dance routine.
Yeah, it's the same as having a fight on stage.
Yeah.
You don't hate the other person.
No,
you don't
not
want
at
to beat the
all.
other person up.
Not at
Like
all.
it's just the equivalent.
Yeah.
I get that. That's interesting though.
So I think it's that, and people will have different ways of doing it. I know when we did our intimacy workshop, there were some people who had partners externally out of the drama school who didn't do the intimacy, who took more of a directorial role because their partner wasn't comfortable with it. And if you as the actor are comfortable with taking on that boundary from your partner or with your partner, fine. There's nobody should ever be forced to do any intimacy. And intimacy and nudity and all of that kind of stuff should only be added to a script if it is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, that was sort of what I wanted to ask you. Now we're on this topic,
Yeah.
which again is unplanned.
Yeah.
We didn't know we were going to talk about this, but it's interesting. What are your thoughts in general on like sex scenes and nudity in films or on? Do you get it on stage? I don't think you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
On stage?
Yeah, on stage. Yeah. Like think about like Spring Awakening or
I'm not well versed in
Or
theatre.
big old sex scene in Spring Awakening.
Oh, on
Yeah,
stage.
On stage, yeah.
Interesting. What do you
Yeah.
think of that? Is it what in general?
I think that, as I say, if it is necessary to the story, then absolutely.
Because sometimes we've all seen shows where
They're just naked for the sake of being
and it's
naked.
like, is that needed?
Because
Because
obviously there's the whole kind of
story? I don't know.
Yeah, there's
like,
the whole kind of all sex sells, which is true. There is no
Game
two
of
ways
Thrones
about
gets
it.
a lot of flack. It's like the main target of
Yeah.
the nudity and sex scenes aren't necessary because
Like-
there's a lot of it in Game of Thrones.
Oh, 100%. But again, some of it I do think is necessary. You have to look
have you
at
seen
the.
Oppenheimer?
I was just about
Because
to talk about
that
that.
is, in my opinion, the most necessary
100%.
sex scene in a film.
Yes.
When that happened, I was like, that is genius.
And
That
actually,
is
Oppenheimer,
so good.
the one moment
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about in Oppenheimer was when Florence Pugh, when he goes to see Florence Pugh's character in the hotel room,
Yeah.
you don't see them have sex. You see them sat opposite each other in the room, completely naked. And as an audience member, you might think, well, there's no need for that. They could have their clothes on. No. It shows how comfortable they are with each other.
The scene would
It shows
not work without it. Yeah.
and the fact that you see him naked with Florence Pugh's character and having sex with Florence Pugh's character, and you never see it with Emily Blunt's character.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And just subliminally, even if you don't consciously acknowledge that when you're watching the film, you subliminally go, "Oh, interesting."
Yeah. I think that's
It's a
I
completely
think all of those
different
moments in
relationship.
Oppenheimer
Are brilliant.
brilliantly
100%.
done.
And that's when
so
it's like
relevant. Yeah.
100% and so necessary,
Yeah.
massively. And
Yeah.
it doesn't feel uncomfortable. You're not. I think that's the thing. If as an audience member you're sat there going, "Oh God, I don't want to be watching this. Oh, this is awful." You probably doesn't need it to be put in there, unless
Unless
it's
that's the intended
intention.
purpose.
Yeah.
There is actually a moment in Oppenheimer where he's in the like interview room, you know, in the sort of second half of the film, where it's like a courtroom
Oh, I
bit.
forgot about that bit.
And it like
Yeah.
cuts to them having sex in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
interview,
yeah.
and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that again is so
But
impactful
again,
because it's like that's what's
where
on
his
his mind.
brain
That's what,
goes.
yeah, that's where his brain's going. That's how he feels in that moment. He
And
feels
the fact that his
exposed
wife
and-
is sat there watching it,
yeah,
all
and
of that stuff.
yeah, there's that little
Brilliant.
moment where she's like looking over his shoulder, and his wife's sat behind him, and they sort of make eye contact. It's like,
Brilliant.
it's in her head.
Yeah.
She can't get her out of her
Yeah.
head. It's brilliant.
Absolutely fab.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing I do believe is necessary. But again, the whole movement that is coming round behind the scenes in terms of intimacy coordination is, if you don't feel comfortable, you do not do it.
Yeah.
You know, and you have the power, no matter what, to say no. And I think
So important.
previously because of how, hostile, don't know whether that's the right word,
Toxic.
frivolous, maybe?
Oh, okay.
No, wrong word.
Get the thesaurus out.
I know,
Which
I need
is
to
the
get
right word?
So because, for every one role, there will be thousands of people auditioning for that role. When you walk into an audition room for a certain part and you see 20 people who look exactly the same as you auditioning for that part, you go, I'm really indispensable. So that has made actors go, oh, well, I must do everything they tell me to do because I'm so replaceable and there's so many other me's out there.
That, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why people have previously abused power and the whole Harvey Weinstein thing and everything, because it is like, oh, well, if you do this, I'll give you the role. Or if you don't do this, I'll give someone else the role. But actually, now we're giving the power back to the actor to say, okay, yeah, you've got this job. This is your job now. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this. And actually, if you want to fire me for not wanting to do this, good luck kind of thing. Of like, I'll tell everyone. It's not an I'll tell everyone, but it is a...
No, but it's that
sort
is implied,
it's my
isn't it?
right to say no to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, it's that. So I feel like there's more transparency, I think that kind of thing is more normal now, hopefully. Well, it's getting there, certainly.
I think so. I think there's been a change in the industry.
It's definitely been a change, even in drama school. I was at drama school for 4 years, and within those 4 years,
you saw a change.
I saw a change massively, because drama school definitely has a reputation for being hostile, and I think now students can see the way that previous generations have been treated, and then when they get treated that way, they go, hang on a second, this is unacceptable, and they're not afraid to call it out.
Yeah.
That's, our year in drama school, I imagine, was probably viewed as quite a trouble year, a problem year.
Well, I think
because
possibly every year is. I don't know.
yeah,
I can't
because
imagine
we
any
were
year is
not
that easy.
afraid to stand up and go, I will not be spoken to like that. I don't care that you are an authority figure. Absolutely not. That is unacceptable.
Yeah.
So it's that. And then drama schools change and shift and, adapt to that. But there's been so many things that have come out the woodwork, about really big drama schools that actually just aren't treating people very well, or previously haven't treated people very well.
Well, we were saying how drama schools sort of, the point is to like break down certain barriers.
Yeah.
But in doing that, you've got to be very careful that like you're not crossing. I know it seems
100%.
counterintuitive. You're not crossing a line
Yeah.
in crossing
Definitely.
lines.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
there's a thing of like, oh, we'll break you down to build you back up again. That used to be the drama school mentality.
yeah.
And it used to be that,
That's
especially
that's
the bigger,
very questionable logic, isn't it? Really?
especially the bigger drama schools would break you down till you were like broken, and then build you up in their mold. And our drama school, particularly our head of year, had said word for word, we don't want that. We don't want a mold. We will break down the things that need breaking down. If there's anything holding you back, we will break that down. But we're not going to break you down, because you are the reason you got in to a certain extent. That's why we chose you.
Yeah.
They want to make individual actors rather
Not
than
just clones of the actor mold.
But there are still drama schools to this day. I won't mention any names, but if you're in the world, you'll know exactly the places I'm talking about that still do that, that still have a mold, and they choose people to get into the drama school who they know will be able to fit that mold. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
surely that doesn't produce better actors, though.
No, it doesn't.
So
it doesn't.
why
it just
why
produces
produces more
mass talent to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But it's typically those kind of drama schools are feeding into the music theatre world.
Maybe music theatre. Why music theatre specifically? Sorry,
for like the ensemble.
Really?
And, yeah.
Really?
If you wouldn't.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
So say, for example, I'm trying to do it without saying anything wildly specific. But if you want 5 boys who can dance, there are a set number of drama schools that you will go to for those boys.
Right. Bloody
typically within, as I say, the music theatre courses. It's often the music theatre courses at these drama schools that are way more hostile. That's one of the main reasons why I did not want to go into music theatre training.
Yeah, when you first went to like drama school, I was surprised that you didn't want to like specialise in music theatre, because music theatre previously, that was your jam. That was what. And it still is. You still love it.
I love it, and singing is a massive part of my portfolio, I guess, as you would say.
Your personality, I would say.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. My dance wasn't strong enough to do music theatre.
Right. Okay.
That's another main
I
reason.
could have told you that.
No, but it's true.
I'm joking, because have you seen me dance? No, you haven't, and there's a reason for that. Even when it looks like I'm dancing, I'm not.
And next time we'll be doing Just Dance.
Oh God, that's an idea.
That would be so funny. Oh my God.
That's one for the visual viewers.
But yeah, I think, for people who are listening to this who possibly want to go to drama school,
hopefully this hasn't put you off.
I was going to say, don't be afraid. No.
If you're wanting to go to drama school, don't.
Don't let this scare you. It is a scary world. It is a confusing world. But as long as you do your research, the right place will find you. I know that sounds really stupid. That's what you do when you audition. It's not about necessarily... It's not just about finding out if you're right for them. It's finding out if they're right for you. And if they're not, don't even go there. Like, don't even put the effort in.
I'd say that applies to all unis as well.
Oh my God, 100%.
The uni. I mean, I went to uni and dropped out after 5 days and took a gap year because I got there and
it just wasn't right.
Immediately knew that the uni wasn't right for me.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I made a different choice. But I wish I'd have just found that out earlier. Yeah. Because
it's hard.
I took the wrong path, and I got there in the end, and I went to a really nice uni, which I'm very, very glad I did. Yeah. Shout out to Uni of Salford.
Woo!
Brilliant uni.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one I went to wasn't the right place.
No. And it takes
time
as well.
I Control-Z'd that motherfucker.
Yeah. It takes time to work out what you want and where you want to be. And, I auditioned for drama school 2 years running. And then in between that, I did a foundation course. But the first year, I auditioned at this one place. I'd been to an open day, fallen in love, absolutely adored it.
Are you going to name it or not? No.
Fallen in love, like, it was incredible. I just thought it was like the best thing since sliced bread. And then I did my audition, but I did a regional audition, so I did it in Manchester. I'm lying, I did it in Birmingham, but it was actually for a drama school in London, or near London. And I was like, oh my God, this is where I want to be. This is my school. I want to go here. And didn't get in, obviously. And was so upset. I was so upset that I did not get into this school. And then the year after, I was like, I'm going to audition again. I'm going to do it. Yeah, we're going to get in. Woo. But this time, I went to the school to audition. I hated every single second. It was appalling. I was like, this is so wrong. This is so not me. The audition was horrific. I was like, why are you making us do this? This is fucking pointless. It was awful. Whereas my boyfriend at the time went with me to the same audition and fell in love. It was his school. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And we learned as very different people, in different ways. And I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. And that's where he went.
One place is right for some,
but
it's
I was
just
like,
wrong
this
for others.
is not for me. Absolutely not.
What was it? The environment, the people,
I loved the environment when I went the first time, but it was a campus uni.
Right. Yeah.
And then I did a foundation at a city uni.
Yeah.
And thought,
well, my first uni was a campus uni, and it felt. And no disrespect to the uni, which again I'm not going to name, or no disrespect to any campus uni. I've known a lot of people who've gone to campus unis.
100%. And I went to other campus unis, like actual unis rather than drama schools, and was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It felt like I was in a sort of bell jar environment.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you've got everything you need within a 2-minute walk, and it's like I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want the city. Where I went the first time was very, very quiet, middle of nowhere. Lovely place to go on holiday. Absolutely fantastic. but lovely for a holiday, lovely for a weekend away.
Yeah.
To live there,
Yeah,
I
you see,
need my busyness.
That's so funny you would
Yeah.
say that, because when we went for this audition, we actually booked a hotel and made it into a weekend away and had a lovely time because it was really good for a weekend away.
Yeah.
But I just hated the actual drama school. It's a great drama school, like, just not for me at all.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all about finding what's right for you and all of that kind of stuff. And just, yeah, don't go in with like rose tinted goggles, because it isn't a fairy tale and it isn't like Glee. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I've never really seen Glee, but I imagine that Glee is quite like, and now we sing a song.
Yes.
Why did I sound like Jennifer Coolidge?
I have seen Glee a
Wow.
lot, and it is like that.
Yeah.
Actually, just about to finish my second run through of Glee. I hope that doesn't mean
goodness.
that anyone turns off, but
Well, don't turn off, because if you don't like Glee, I've never seen Glee, so you've got,
Fair enough.
you've got both.
fair enough. Yeah, I can't believe you've not seen Glee. You'd love it.
I think I've watched like the first episode.
First
and was
episode
like,
is bad.
ooh.
No, seriously, the
Oh,
first
okay.
episode is bad.
Oh,
First
maybe
few
that's why.
episodes are bad, in my opinion. But on this second run through, I skipped the first episode because it's that bad. It's like bizarrely bad. It's like, this is not the same show. What is going on? The editing is so. The whole first series is like a bit strangely put together.
Yeah.
But enjoyable, and then it gets better.
Okay.
Anyway, we're not going to go on a
How do
Glee
you
review.
watch it? Where do you watch
Disney
it on?
Plus. It's on Disney Plus.
No way.
Wow. That's getting cut.
Just put that in. That's getting cut. Speed up. That's getting cut.
Should we finish it there?
Yeah, we've been going for an hour and 3 minutes.
That's a good time. That's a good
Absolutely.
time.
Well done us. And I'm very sorry for going on a rant about drama school.
I think that's going to be the title of this episode. We didn't know when we started what it'd be about, but yeah, a little deep dive on drama school and
acting and
sex scenes.
And sex scenes.
That'll get clicks. That's what it's going to be. That's what I'll put in the title.
Yeah.
Are sex scenes ruining Hollywood? You won't believe what I'll make it into like a BuzzFeed article. But yeah, anyway, thanks for listening to another episode of
the Purely Platonic Podcast.
Make sure to go and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Purely Platonic Podcast.
Absolutely.
Go and subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to see what it looks like. If you're currently seeing what I'm doing right now, then you are watching the YouTube video, so well done to you.
Just for clarification,
the
he's
audio-
only waving.
Don't ruin it. All
Sorry.
right, I'll do something else that only,
for
only
goodness
the
sake.
visual people. It's enticing,
Right, go to
It's
YouTube.
enticing the audio listeners to come over to YouTube. You ready?
Okay, yeah, please do, because that was really funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, you need audio people. You need to see what I just
You
did.
need to say.
I'll do it again. Thanks for listening, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
I need to write something for us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
A
Like
little
make
jingle,
a yeah,
yeah.
make a jingle.
You've got 2 days to write it, Abby.
Fuck.
I hope it's good.
Jingle.
Bye.